the question comes, if no one's talking about their sexuality, why should gay people, why should lesbians, why should trans people talk about their sexuality? I think it's a myth that when we think of sexuality, we think of the act of sex. But when we are at workplace, and say if I'm sitting at lunch with my friends and I say, hey, this was made by my wife and she was in a hurry in the morning, we had to drop our son to school, and that's why it is what it is. And you take a pause and you think, he's just declared having a wife. He's just declared his sexual orientation and the fact that he has a son, he has a life. So when we're talking about sexuality, sexuality is not just a sexual act. And of course, I totally understand that sexual acts do not necessarily need to be talked about at work, but sexuality is much bigger than that. And when LGBTQ people think that they have to leave an important part of who they are at home and act like they are somebody else at work, that's what affects productivity. That's what affects the feeling of belonging. Imagine if you have to always hide who you are, right? It's not going to be very motivating for us. So there are many, many ways, from your hiring policies to the way you write your job descriptions, to the way you design your trainings, to the way you manage promotions and such, that can show people that you do care about LGBTQ inclusion at work. So yes, I think it is very important to not make your employees feel that parts of them are shameful and parts of them need to be hidden. Once we're able to do that, once we're able to tell people, you can bring your whole selves to work, that's when we see a workplace which is not just diverse, it's inclusive, and I feel that I belong there.